Swedish kind of way. That's really noisy. Let's take those off. This is a traditional Swedish ham, Yule ham ting. All right, this is a really large ham, and it's not what we would normally have for a smaller family, but we're a gigantic family, the Skarsgårds, and actually the Everetts too, from the Ohio side, they're pretty big too. So this is going to be 6 kilos, or 6 kilo if you want. All right, I'm babbling. This is the ham. This is what it looks like. We got it all in the stream. And what we're going to do is we're going to boil the ham first, and that's going to take a couple hours to do, and I'll explain the process. And then we're going to put this nice kind of mustard breadcrumb crust on it, and then we're going to put it into the oven for a nice finish on the ham. But I'll explain all that. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put it into the pot and cover it with water. Most hams, there's kind of, we were going back and forth, do we need to soak this ahead of time? Because some hams are too salty, some are just fine. But the hams nowadays, they've kind of gotten the salt ratio right, so we haven't soaked this one. But you may want to ask your butcher, or find out on the internet about the hams you're getting if you need to salt them ahead of time. Salt them. All right, so it's Brooklyn Christmas. All right, there's a few things that we're going to add into our ham boiling eventually here. Leek, and I'm supposed to say this in an exceptionally large and obscene leek to match our obscene and large ham. We're going to have some parsley, the flat leaf parsley. You can have the curly kind. Go down to Red Lobster, steal some off the plate, it's fine. Thyme, we all need more thyme. I make that joke every time. Thyme. I promise I'm going to stop mugging. And peppercorns, white peppercorns this time for this. And some allspice. I don't know if you can see that in my little decorous, let me say decorous Chinese bowl. And our ever popular Lake Como bay leaves from my gay stepbrother, who's in charge of brother-in-law, Lake Como bay leaf from my brother-in-law on the other side. Here I'm laughing back there. Yeah. All young, strapping young men. You send in your pictures to us, and we'll set you up with your special Lake Como bay leaves.
Put the ham in a pot large enough to fit it and cover it with cold water. Bring it to a boil on top of the stove and then let it boil for a few minutes. Repeat the process, pour the water off and fill with fresh water and bring to a boil again. Now gently skim the white protein or scum off the top of it. Now add all your greenery and spices. Insert a meat thermometer into the thickest part of the ham, avoiding the bone. Boil gently with the lid on until the inner temperature of the ham reaches 70 degrees Celsius or 158 degrees Fahrenheit. When done, take the ham off the stove and let it cool in its own juices with the lid off.
Right, so this is the ham that we boiled yesterday, and when it reached that 70 degrees, we took it off and we let it cool in its own juices, and as you can see by the footage, we put it in our bathtub because otherwise it could have just kept in warm water for quite a long time. So we cooled it down, and then we took the ham out and separated it from the juices, and we put them into the refrigerator, and now they're out, and we've put the juices back on the stove, and we put it up to a boil to kill all the germs. And now the thing about those juices is in Sweden they use it for dop i gröten. They dip the bread into that the ham stock. That's what I was talking, the dop i gröten. Hello. So that's what that was for. But if you don't want to do that, you can keep that, just check the saltiness level, and you can put that in containers and use it as a stock. And we're going to show you how to make black bean soup, which has a ham base, which is why we're doing all this. And maybe you want to use your ham stock if it's not too salty, or maybe you want to use chicken stock and ham stock. Up to you, you're the artist. Okay, so ham's out here, I'll quit talking. You gotta take the string off, first off. And this guy's still cold. And the thing about eating ham in Sweden is that they serve it cold. So this is already considered cooked. What we're gonna do now is just make it nice with a little crust. All right, it just took me 2 years and I finished taking the string off the ham. And now we will take the top of the skin off of the ham. We want to leave a little bit of fat on the ham because that's going to be nice and give you flavor and keep the ham juicy. So you can kind of get into your inner Dexter here if you like. I can do backstreet plastic surgery. Anybody call me, okay? Oh, so I'm back and I've tried to kind of smooth it out, and as I said, it looks like my son's hair after the haircut I gave him recently. So what we're going to do is we're going to coat this in a mustard breadcrumb mixture. I know in the States, if you're from Sweden or the rest of the place, we do really kind of sweet glazes, and sometimes we go really retro with pineapple rings and little maraschino cherries. But here in Sweden they do the mustard thing. It's that Northern Europe. Alright, so get your bowl, right? And then you have all of your mustards. You have the Coleman dry mustard, about a tablespoon. And then you have sweet mustard, and if you're from the States you're probably going, oh, honey mustard, but it's not honey mustard, it's sugared mustard. But you can use honey mustard, but for the other sweetener then you might not want to use honey, you might want to use golden syrup. So for this we're using just sugared mustard. And then we're going to add in the honey, and that is about a tablespoon. And as I said, if you're using honey mustard, you might want to use golden syrup this time. But this special honey, which I wanted to use, was from my sister-in-law, her father, Sheila Everett's dad. And it came to me in this beautiful jar, and it's so fantastic and fragrant. So I wanted to feature that. Alright, and then we're just adding in 1 egg and 1 egg yolk. And now we mix. Yeah, you like that, don't you? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Coat my fat. All right, here we go. Coat my fat and color me. So, you like that? It's so nice. It feels good. Yeah. Oh, very nice. Yeah. I could have been into art school, but I paint you. That was kind of fun. I was channeling some inner daycare doggish thing. So now we just have breadcrumbs, and you know with this, you know the episode on what you can do with your extra, bread that's a day old or so. Breadcrumbs. You let it dry, or you can put it into the oven and dry, and then put it in the food processor on blitzing, or you can bang it with a hammer or step on it, whatever, to make breadcrumbs. So, that's another way, things to use your old bread. And we're just going to sprinkle artistically over the mustard. That's artistic face. Okay, so I lift the ham into its little bed. Oh, a deep, that is 6 kilo ham. Jeez.
Jesus Christo is the reason for this season.
Anyway, so it's on a rack up so it doesn't stick to the pan and all the juices kind of go under there. And now I'm allowed to drizzle the butter all over it. So I'm gonna use a spoon. Rachel, I have a spoon. It's gorgeous. She has good recipes, I guess. Okay, so about 2 tablespoons. It's just drizzling. Drizzle, drizzle, drizzle. Isn't there like a dreidel song for Hanukkah? This is the drizzle song. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put it under the grill, high heat in the oven. And you just want to get a really kind of brown crust on it. But you have to watch it because it can go like that, it can go into a black crust. So, and that's going to taste burnt.